So the Ontario vaccine passport requiring proof of 2 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine came into place on September the 22nd. Within a day, Mayor Mario Zant in Clarence Rockland was forced to release a statement condemning acts of verbal abuse and threats of physical violence that occurred in the city. Joining me today, I have the owner of Benny's All Day Restaurant, a local restaurant here in Clarence Rockland. Bill Mahfouz, thank you so much for joining me today. I think it's just best to start at the beginning. We've got a lot more to talk about than just the incident,
Yes.
but just to set the context for us, could you let us know what happened here
Yeah,
last
I
week?
mean, the law or mandate went into effect last Wednesday, and we just had an incident with one of the early customers in the morning. I had to jump in and help the server because he was being, somewhat belligerent and using offensive language, and then sort of started making threats, by orally and verbally, and got a little physical with the hardware, the door outside, and then made some threats. So that happened last Wednesday, and then since then, I would say the majority of people have been, complete support. We're getting calls from, Vancouver, Winnipeg, all the way out to Newfoundland, just thanking us for doing our part in this and supporting us. But there have been, like we discussed earlier, the silent majority. There's been some threats over the phone, online, and all I tell people is, listen, I'm not taking a stand one way or the other when it comes to the vaccine passport. We're running a business. We just want to make sure it's safe for the clientele and the staff, and so we're just following the rule of the law.
Absolutely, I think that's an important rhetoric to remember. Since then, has it all been all right for you?
It's been all right. Like I say, isolated incidents on the phone and online. Of course, they hide their, they have their anonymity. And, it's just sad that they take it out on business owners and the great staff that we have, when it's, they should be directing it towards politicians that enact these laws and mandates. And yeah, but all in all, though, everybody's been great.
And was this the kind of behavior you were kind of like expecting in the lead up to this? I mean, you're a business owner, you're looking at this mandate coming in on a certain date. Is it running through your mind that something like this might happen?
Yes, absolutely. It was a fear of ours, but, came to fruition pretty quickly. They just, I don't know, it was, the lead up to it, you could sense there was some pushback from, the anti-mask, anti-vaccine sort of movement. And, it's unfortunate, but we kind of expected it.
And looking at the course of obviously the last 18 months, service industry workers, owners such as yourself, have had a turbulent time.
Yes.
Could you just talk us through a little bit what it was like for Benny's Diner since the beginning of the pandemic? How have you guys fared?
Yeah, it's been hard, and I know I speak for all my fellow restaurant owners and operators. Having to close is one thing. Having to reopen and then close again and then reopen. Over that period of time, we lost a lot of staff. It was very hard to rehire people. Not to mention all the, they would give us sometimes 1 week, 5 days, 4 days warning before the lockdown or shutdown, and then we'd have to throw away food. We'd give it away a lot. A lot of it, the insurance companies don't cover any of that. That is a separate issue, but the most important thing was the staffing. It's been incredibly hard. The people come back. The customers have all come back, and to be honest with you, business is great, but the pressure on the staff that we do have is immense because they're having to put in extra hours, and it's been very hard finding new employees.
Yeah, we spoke earlier, you and I, about the kind of work you're having to put in as the owner, the extra shifts, the extra hours you're doing here. So you mentioned staffing there. How are you guys coping? And what do you think the main issue is with people returning to work?
Luckily, my partner, my brother and I, we're both, restaurant lifers. So we have extensive experience in all facets of the business. So we're basically in the kitchen now, 12-hour days. But I really feel bad for restaurant owners and operators that don't have that experience in the kitchen, and some of them have had to close down. I think personally, I think it's the pandemic has kind of shifted the labor economy towards less blue collar and people wanting to work remotely. The programs set forth by the government, CERB, They were great at the beginning, and they helped a lot of our employees and everything. But to keep those programs going is just stifling businesses and our chance to move forward with this and hire people. We're not even getting applications. I put ads out constantly. They're Kijiji, all the, on Facebook and Indeed. I'm lucky to get a resume like once every 2 weeks. And even at that, they want to abuse the system. And, we're just not for that.
Yeah, and we're looking at it as well, and like the issue of staff is a huge one at this point, and a potential other lockdown. I mean, we're here talking about this case today because of the fact that people are against the vaccine passport. One of the main reasons the vaccine passport has been pushed forward is to ensure that businesses such as yourself don't have to lock down again like you had to do multiple times over the course of the last 18 months. So tell me, for you, Bill, and for Benny's all day here, a business that's been in your family for over 30 years, what would it mean to you? What would happen to you if another lockdown came in before the end of this year?
It'd be devastating, honestly. I think, forget about us, this is our business, so, we've poured our blood and sweat into it, and we'll keep doing it. But for all our great employees, and it's mentally challenging. It really has been. And to even think of another lockdown like that, I don't know if most businesses could survive it, really.
Is there ever a time you contemplated having to close your doors for good here?
Not for good. Like I say, we are, we have extensive background in this business. If I had to rely strictly on employees in the kitchen, I would have closed, definitely. But we're looking at ways now to try to minimize the stress and the mental effects on all our employees, the mental well health, because we have some employees that are putting in extra hours, and it's great and we appreciate it. But at the end of the day, their mental health is paramount.
I know, Bill. First of all, I just want to thank you so much for your time. And just to end on, I think, whether it be for yourself, for your employees in your business, or any other business such as yourself out there, what would your message be to the potential customers coming through the doors?
I would say welcome to our place. Nothing has changed. We're following the laws just like we followed the laws 10 years ago, 5 years ago, before this pandemic, when there was smoking and then there was no smoking. We just followed the bylaws. And I remember back then, some people would make a fuss because this dining room was full of smokers. And then we thought, oh my God, I couldn't see a world where there was no smoking. It took a little bit of time and everybody adjusted. And this is the same sort of thing. If you have some issues, please do not take it out on our staff, on our frontline staff, on the girls at the door, ourselves. Please direct your anger towards the people that are setting these policies. We're just running a business and we want it safe for everybody.
Fantastic, Bill. Thank you for your time and all the best going forward.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.